Woohoo! We've missed you, France. To celebrate, we've rounded up these fun facts about France to get you in the mood to travel in the future. Get more information here on France travel and openings. If you are dreaming of a vacation to France or are just interested in learning more about the country, you will love learning about these France fun facts. Did you know that France is the largest country in Europe and one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world? France has good food, amazing wine, beautiful cities, and charming culture. It's no surprise that everyone wants to visit. From the largest art museum to a bread superstition, this list covers it all. Keep reading for 10 fun facts about France that will make you want to hop on an airplane to Paris immediately. Planning a trip to France? Check out these popular articles. Where to stay in Paris, best neighborhoods and hotels, famous people buried in the Père Lachaise cemetery of Paris, enchanting medieval villages in France, the French Riviera, things to do in Marseille, France. 1. France is the most visited country in the world. Of all the countries in the world, France is the most visited. Approximately 89 million people visit France every year to take in the culture and enjoy the food. In addition to being the most visited country in the world, Paris is one of the most visited cities. In 2019, over 19 million tourists visited the city of Paris, France. It consistently ranks in the top 10 most visited cities year after year. If you want to imagine how big France is, a good comparison is that it is slightly smaller than the state of Texas. France has a ton of personality for such a small country. While France isn't that big, it is the biggest country in the European Union. For a little more perspective, France is twice as big as the United Kingdom, and 8 times the size of Ireland. Pick up these handy France guides on Amazon. Lonely Planet France, country guide to help plan your trip. Lonely Planet Paris, complete guide to the city. Paris itinerary, our complete 3 days in Paris itinerary. The Louvre Museum in Paris, France, is the largest art museum in the world. This museum is so big that if you wanted to spend 30 seconds looking at each piece of art, it would take you approximately 100 days to get through the entire museum. French artists created 66% of all the artwork in the museum. Here are some of the most famous pieces of artwork in the Louvre Museum. The Mona Lisa, the Raft of the Medusa, the Venus de Milo, the Horse Tamers, the Wedding at Cana. Before the Louvre Museum became a museum, it was a fortress built in the 12th century and then renovated into a royal palace in the 16th century. Many people claim that the Louvre Museum is haunted due to its age and complicated past. Read Paris closures and when to avoid museum and attractions. When visiting Paris, get your museum pass to enjoy priority skip the line tickets to more than 60 of the top museums and monuments in and around Paris. Explore the Louvre and Versailles and visit the Arc de Triomphe, the Centre Pompidou, and many others. Did you know that in France over 25,000 tons of snails are eaten every single year? That is a lot of snails. On average, a resident of France eats approximately 500 snails per year. The French consider snails to be a delicacy, and they are often enjoyed during holidays. In France, snails are referred to as escargot. While there are several different types of escargot that you can eat, one of the most common ways to eat snails in France is cooked in butter and garlic. The best way to eat snails in France is to do so at a French restaurant. Snails are often eaten as an appetizer, and to eat them, your waiter should provide you with special utensils to help crack the shell. And here's one of the more quirkier facts in France. It is illegal to carry live snails on a train in France unless they have a ticket. It is a law that states animals weighing less than 5 kilograms, 11 pounds, must travel with their own ticket. Sounds outdated? Tell that to the guy in 2008 that was fined for having live snails on the train. While the exact number of cheeses produced in France is unknown, it is said that they make over 1,500 different cheeses. If you happen to love cheese, this may sound like a dream come true. In fact, France ranks in the top 10 countries for their amount of cheese consumption. More than 95% of the French population eats cheese. French cheeses have several defining characteristics such as how long they age, the process of making the cheese, and how moldy they are. Here is a list of some of the most popular cheeses that you will find in France. Camembert de Normandie, Brie de Meaux, Reblochon, Fromage Blanc, Roquefort, Munster. If you decide to visit France and try these different types of cheeses, be sure to pair wine with them for the full French experience. Supermarkets in France are not allowed to throw away food that is near the best-by date. Instead, they must donate the food to a charity or food bank. France passed this law in 2016 to help reduce hunger and prevent food waste. Why doesn't everyone do this? Supermarkets in France are donating about 45,000 pounds of food annually that would have been thrown away if not donated. While some of the fruits and vegetables are deemed unable to be eaten, most of the food is distributed to families in need. That is great for both the people who could use the food and the environment. The supermarkets also benefit from this law because there is less trash to deal with. Another interesting fact about France is that one of their kings only held the throne for about 20 minutes. This was one of the shortest reigns of a monarch that there has ever been. Louis XIX was king of France for only 20 minutes after his father had abdicated, renounced his throne. Ironically enough, Louis XIX also abdicated about 20 minutes after his father appointed him the throne. Louis XIX shares this record with Luís Felipe from Portugal. Luís Felipe's father was murdered in an attack, and Luís Felipe was also injured during the same attack. He ended up outliving his father by about 20 minutes, and during this time, he was king of Portugal. Eight. The French army invented camouflage. Did you know that the French army was the one to invent camouflage? The French invented camouflage during World War I in 1915. They hired artists to paint both their vehicles and their guns, so that they would blend in with the environment around them. They did this by painting lines that would distract from the shape of the object. About a year after the French stating camouflaging their equipment, other countries began doing the same thing. Each country had its own style of camouflage. The French believe that placing a baguette, or any type of bread upside down on a table can cause bad luck. This legend dates all the way back to the Middle Ages, and has never gone away. Back in the Middle Ages, the town executioner would often not have time to pick up their bread in the morning. The baker would hang a loaf upside down for the executioner to pick up later on in the day. Because of this practice in the Middle Ages, over time, upside-down bread became a symbol of fear and death. People would avoid any upside-down bread to avoid misfortune. If you ever get the chance to visit France, be sure that you do not place any bread on the table upside down. Also, if you see any upside-down bread, avoid it. 10. The Tour de France is more than 100 years old. We watch the Tour de France every year. Even COVID-19 couldn't hold it back. But did you know that the famous cycling race has been running since 1903? Since its humble beginnings, it is now the most prestigious cycling race in the world, lasting 23 days and covering more than 3,383 kilometers, 2,102 miles. Of all the countries in the world, France consumes the second largest amount of wine. In total, the French consume approximately 25 million hectoliters per year. They are second to the United States, which consumes about 30 million hectoliters. In addition to consuming a ton of wine, France is also known for creating the most expensive wine in the world. This bottle of wine costs around $21,000. While you probably won't get the chance to try the most expensive wine in France, you may get the opportunity to try some French wine. Here are some of the most popular French regions for wine. Burgundy, Bordeaux, Rhode Valley, Provence, close to Marseille, France. Champagne. If you ever find yourself in one of these French regions, be sure to stop and taste the wine. You also could pair the wine with some of the cheese that we mentioned earlier.
Capital City, Paris, France. Population of France, 68 millions people. National motto, liberté, égalité, fraternité. Cool fact, this is also the national motto of Haiti. It means liberty, equality, and fraternity. The French flag is blue, white, and red. Le drapeau tricolore is translated to the tricolored flag. How appropriate. French is the official language of 29 countries in the world, Canada being one of them. In fact, French was the official language of England from 1066 to 1362 after the Norman conquest.
Capital city, Paris, France. Population of France, 68 million people. National motto, freedom, egalitarianity, fraternity. Cool fact, this is also the national motto of Haiti. It means liberty, equality, and fraternity. The French flag is blue, white, and red. The tricolor flag is translated to the three-colored flag. How appropriate? French is the official language of 29 countries in the world, Canada being one of them. In fact, French was once the official language of England, from 1066 to 1362, after the Norman conquest. France is a country that is full of history, culture, and amazing experiences. There are so many fun facts about France that it is impossible to cover them all. If you want to experience all that France has to offer, then you should book a trip to Europe's largest country right away. It is the most popular tourist destination for a reason. If you love traveling and want to see more posts like this one, be sure to check out our destinations section for more travel inspiration. Also, leave a comment down below if you have additional fun facts about France to share. Read more fun facts around the world. Italy, fun facts about Italy. Germany, top 15 fun facts about Germany that you probably didn't know. England, 10 fun facts about England that you don't already know. Greece, 25 interesting and fun facts about Greece. Canada, 72 funny and interesting facts about Canada.
La France est un pays plein d'histoire, de culture et d'expériences étonnantes. Il y a tellement de faits amusants sur la France qu'il est impossible de les couvrir tous. Si vous voulez découvrir tout ce que la France a à faire, alors vous devriez réserver un voyage dans le plus grand pays d'Europe, tout de suite. C'est la destination touristique la plus populaire pour une raison. Si vous aimez voyager, et que vous voulez voir plus de messages comme celui-ci, n'oubliez pas de consulter notre section destination pour plus d'inspiration de voyage. Aussi, laissez un commentaire ci-dessous si vous avez d'autres faits amusants sur la France à partager. En savoir plus faits amusants dans le monde. Italie, faits amusants sur l'Italie. Allemagne, top 15 des faits amusants sur l'Allemagne que vous ne saviez probablement pas. Angleterre, 10 faits amusants sur l'Angleterre que vous ne connaissez pas déjà. Grèce, 25 faits intéressants et amusants sur la Grèce. Canada, 72 faits drôles et intéressants sur le Canada.
Three days in Paris. The best Paris itinerary for your first visit written by The Planet D. City Guides France updated on September 6, 2021.
3 jours à Paris, le meilleur itinéraire de Paris pour votre première visite. Rédigé par The Planet D. Guide de la ville, France. Mis à jour le 6 septembre 2021.
If you know us, then you know that Paris is one of our favorite cities in Europe, and 3 days in Paris gives you ample time to sample all the highlights of the city, from visiting the famous sites like the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre to exploring great Paris neighborhoods and sampling some great food. Paris is a city that has it all. To help you in your planning, we put together this 3-day Paris itinerary to help you have the best experience possible.
Si vous nous connaissez, vous savez que Paris est l'une de nos villes préférées en Europe, et 3 jours à Paris vous donnent amplement le temps de goûter à tous les points forts de la ville, de la visite des sites célèbres comme la Tour Eiffel et le Louvre à la découverte des grands quartiers de Paris, et à la dégustation de la bonne nourriture. Paris est une ville qui a tout pour plaire. Pour vous aider dans votre planification, nous avons mis en place cet itinéraire de 3 jours à Paris, pour vous aider à avoir la meilleure expérience possible.
About this Paris itinerary, Paris itself can be an overwhelming city. There are so many things to do, and you need to make sure you take advantage of all the time-saving ideas you can. We have spent considerable time in Paris, so we took our knowledge and used it to make sure that you visit the most attractions without feeling like you are run off your feet. By taking advantage of skip-the-line tickets and easily accessible transit, you can have the Paris dream in 3 short days.
À propos de cet itinéraire de Paris, Paris elle-même peut être une ville écrasante. Il y a tellement de choses à faire et vous devez vous assurer de profiter de toutes les idées qui vous font gagner du temps. Nous avons passé beaucoup de temps à Paris, nous avons donc pris nos connaissances et les avons utilisées pour nous assurer que vous visitiez la plupart des attractions sans avoir l'impression d'être épuisé. En profitant des billets Skip the Line et des transports en commun facilement accessibles, vous pouvez avoir le rêve de Paris en 3 jours courts.
Welcome to Paris! Today we will start off by visiting some truly iconic landmarks of the city. These are all the places that you associate with Paris, so get your camera ready as this is the classics of Paris. If you don't want to walk this, you can jump on a Seine River cruise to see most of it from the water. 1. Eiffel Tower.
Bienvenue à Paris. Aujourd'hui, nous allons commencer par visiter quelques monuments vraiment emblématiques de la ville. Ce sont tous les endroits que vous associez à Paris. Alors préparez votre appareil photo car ce sont les classiques de Paris. Si vous ne voulez pas marcher, vous pouvez sauter sur une croisière sur la Seine pour en voir la plus grande partie depuis l'eau. 1. Tour Eiffel.
No trip to Paris would be complete without seeing its most famous landmark. There is nothing like gazing up the center of the tower, or catching the view from Trocadero Gardens, or the Champs de Mars. Either way, you won't be disappointed. Now, if you want to go up the Eiffel Tower, which I recommend if this is your first time in Paris, make sure you book your tickets in advance. How to go up the Eiffel Tower? Take the elevator. There are two different ways to go up the Eiffel Tower. One is by stairs and the other is by the elevator. Most people choose the latter. But the line up here can get extremely long, 2 to 3 hours long, so buying them beforehand is recommended, and it allows you to skip that line. If you can, try and book them for the first time slot at 9:30 a.m.
Aucun voyage à Paris ne serait complet sans voir son monument le plus célèbre. Il n'y a rien de tel que de regarder le centre de la tour ou de prendre la vue depuis les jardins du Trocadéro ou les Champs de Mars. Quoi qu'il en soit, vous ne serez pas déçus. Maintenant, si vous voulez monter la tour Eiffel que je recommande, si c'est votre première fois à Paris, assurez-vous de réserver vos billets à l'avance. Comment monter la tour Eiffel? Prenez l'ascenseur. Il y a deux façons différentes de monter la tour Eiffel, l'un est par des escaliers et l'autre près de l'ascenseur. La plupart des gens choisissent ce dernier. Mais la file d'attente ici peut devenir extrêmement longue, 2 à 3 heures, il est donc recommandé de les acheter à l'avance, et cela vous permet de sauter cette ligne. Si vous le pouvez, essayez de les réserver pour le premier créneau horaire à 9h30.
You can book them at the official website, or if they are sold out for your day, check out the skip the line options here. Note tickets for the elevator go on sale 60 days in advance for the elevator, so book early. Take the stairs. There is another way you can get up if you don't mind climbing a few stairs, 700 to be exact. If you are feeling spry, you can opt for access to the second level by stairs. It is cheaper and is almost always shorter than the one for the elevator. A good option if the summit access is sold out. Note tickets for the stairs go on sale 10 days in advance. Hours, lift access. Every day 9:30 a.m. 11:45 p.m. 9 a.m. 12:15 a.m. July-August. Last entry 1 hour 45 minutes before closing. Stair access. Every day 9:30 a.m. 6:30 p.m. 9 a.m. 12:45 a.m. July-August. Last entry 45 minutes before closing. Cost, lift to the second floor €16.60. Stairs to the second floor €10.40, elevator to the top €25.90, stairs to the second level plus elevator to the top, €19.70. Location, 7th arrondissement 5 Avenue, Anatole, France. Champ de Mars 75007 Paris Metro Stop. Berhakim Stop Line Green 6.
Vous pouvez les réserver sur le site officiel ou s'ils sont complets pour votre journée, consultez les options Skip the Line ici. Les billets pour l'ascenseur sont mis en vente 60 jours à l'avance pour l'ascenseur, alors réservez tôt. Prenez les escaliers. Il y a une autre façon de vous lever si cela ne vous dérange pas de monter quelques escaliers. 700 pour être exact. Si vous vous sentez pris, vous pouvez opter pour l'accès au deuxième niveau par des escaliers. Il est moins cher et est presque toujours plus court que celui de l'ascenseur. Une bonne option si l'accès au sommet est complet. Les billets pour les escaliers sont mis en vente 10 jours à l'avance. Horaire, accès par ascenseur, tous les jours de 9h30 à 23h45, 9h à midi, et quart de juillet à août dernière entrée 1h45 minutes avant la fermeture. Accès à l'escalier, tous les jours de 9h30 à 18h30, 9h à midi 45 de juillet à août dernière, entrée 45 minutes avant la fermeture. Coût, ascenseur jusqu'au deuxième étage 16,60 €, escalier jusqu'au deuxième étage 10,40 €, ascenseur vers le haut 25,90 €, escalier jusqu'au deuxième niveau, plus ascenseur vers le haut, 19,70 €. Lieu, 7e arrondissement 5 avenue Anatole, France, Champs de Mars, 75007 Paris. Arrêt de métro, arrêt Birackheim, ligne verte 6.
After a great morning at the Eiffel Tower, make your way to Paris's second most popular landmark, the Louvre. We originally left this off of the 3-day Paris itinerary, because it is so huge and crowded, but after our last visit, we decided to add it in because you can enjoy the highlights of the museum in just a couple of hours.
Après une excellente matinée à la Tour Eiffel, dirigez-vous vers le deuxième monument le plus populaire de Paris, le Louvre. À l'origine, nous l'avons laissé de côté de l'itinéraire de Paris de 3 jours parce qu'il est tellement énorme et bondé. Mais après notre dernière visite, nous avons décidé de l'ajouter parce que vous pouvez profiter des points forts du musée en seulement quelques heures.
We are definitely not frequent museum visitors, but the Louvre is another exception. It is much more than a museum. It is a journey through history via art.
Nous ne sommes certainement pas de fréquents visiteurs du musée, mais le Louvre est une autre exception. C'est bien plus qu'un musée, c'est un voyage à travers l'histoire à travers la RT.
Here you will find famous works from the Venus de Milo and the Mona Lisa to the Psyche revived by Cupid's kiss. There is something here for all kinds of art lovers. Truthfully, you could spend days here if you are an art lover. How to skip the line at the Louvre. Being the largest art museum in the world, it is busy, especially in the high season. But there are a few ways you can get ahead of the crowds to save some time. Book your tickets online in advance. The official Louvre website says that if you buy your tickets in advance, the wait is never more than 30 minutes. Cost: €17. Get the Paris City Pass or the Paris Museum Pass. Both of these allow you to skip the line at the Louvre. But note that you will still have to wait in the security line, but this is often much shorter. Book a tour. If you don't want to spend the additional money on one of the above passes, you can always jump on a tour. We recommend this Fast Track Highlights tour or the timed entrance ticket if you want to explore on your own. Don't forget to admire the outside from all angles, as the glass pyramid, which is also the entrance, was built by Iampe and is a great complement to the original architecture of the Louvre. For a photo with almost no people, return later at night. The scene takes on a different feel and it is nearly devoid of people. Hours: Monday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5:45 p.m. Wednesday and Friday 9 a.m. to 9:45 p.m. Cost: €17. Location: First Arrondissement, Pyramide du Louvre, 75001 Paris Metro Stop, Palais Royal Musée du Louvre, Yellow Line 1, Pink Line 7.
Ici vous trouverez des œuvres célèbres de la Vénus de Milo et de la Joconde, la psyché ressuscitée par Cupid Kiss. Il y a quelque chose ici pour toutes sortes d'amateurs d'art. Honnêtement, vous pourriez passer des jours ici si vous êtes un amateur d'art. Comment faire la queue au Louvre? Étant le plus grand musée d'art au monde, il est occupé, en particulier en haute saison. Mais il y a plusieurs façons de devancer la foule pour gagner du temps. Réservez vos billets en ligne à l'avance. Le site officiel du Louvre indique que si vous achetez vos billets à l'avance, l'attente ne dépasse jamais 30 minutes. Coût: €17. Obtenez le Paris City Pass ou le Paris Museum Pass. Les deux vous permettent de sauter la file d'attente au Louvre. Mais notez que vous devrez quand même attendre dans la ligne de sécurité, mais c'est souvent beaucoup plus court. Réservez une visite. Si vous ne voulez pas dépenser l'argent supplémentaire pour l'un des laissez-passer ci-dessus, vous pouvez toujours sauter sur une visite. Nous vous recommandons ce Fast Track Highlights Tour où le billet d'entrée chronométré si vous voulez explorer par vous-même. N'oubliez pas d'admirer l'extérieur sous tous les angles car la pyramide de verre, qui est également l'entrée, a été construite par un monsieur Pei, est un grand complément à l'architecture originale du Louvre. Pour une photo avec presque personne, revenez plus tard dans la nuit. La scène prend une sensation différente et elle est presque dépourvue de monde. Horaire: lundi, jeudi, samedi et dimanche de 9h à 17h45. Mercredi et vendredi de 9h00 à 21h45. Coût: €17. Lieu: Premier arrondissement, Pyramide du Louvre. 75001 Paris. Station de métro, Palais Royal, Musée du Louvre, ligne jaune 1, ligne rose 7.
After a couple of hours of experiencing the Louvre, head northwest towards the Champs-Élysées, starting at the Tuileries Garden, and ending at the Place de la Concorde. This walk takes you through some of the most beautiful gardens in Paris, and ends in a place steeped in French history.
Après quelques heures d'expérience du Louvre, dirigez-vous vers le nord-ouest en direction des Champs-Élysées. Commençant par le jardin des Tuileries, et se terminant par la place de la Concorde, cette promenade vous emmène à travers certains des plus beaux jardins de Paris, et se termine dans un endroit imprégné d'histoire de France.
The Place de la Concorde was created in 1772, and has the macabre designation of being the execution site during the French Revolution. Some famous people who lost their heads to the guillotine here were Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, but today it is most recognized by the Luxor obelisk, which is 3,300 years old, and was erected in 1836. 4. Champs-Élysées.
La place de la Concorde a été créée en 1772, et a la désignation macabre d'être le site d'exécution pendant la Révolution française. Certaines personnes célèbres qui ont perdu la tête à cause de la guillotine ici étaient Louis XVI et Marie-Antoinette. Mais aujourd'hui, il est surtout reconnu par l'obélisque de Luxor qui a 3300 ans et a été érigé en 1836. 4. Champs-Élysées.
This is a relatively long walk, so if you want to save time, jump on the metro at Place de la Concorde and get off at George V. This will put you right in the middle of the Champs-Élysées, the most famous street in Paris. Boutiques and bistros line the wide lanes, and street performers shine on the sidewalks of the boulevard. It is a walk you won't forget. Take your time to explore the shops and splurge on a café au lait at a sidewalk restaurant. Location: 8th Arrondissement, Place de la Concorde, 75008 Paris Metro Stop. Concorde Stop, Yellow Line 1, Purple Line 8, Green Line 12. Champs-Élysées, George V Stop, Yellow Line 1.
C'est une promenade relativement longue, donc si vous voulez gagner du temps, sautez dans le métro de la place de la Concorde et descendez à Georges V. Cela vous placera en plein milieu des Champs-Élysées, la rue la plus célèbre de Paris. Des boutiques et des bistrots bordent les larges ruelles, et les artistes de rue brillent sur les trottoirs du boulevard. C'est une promenade que vous n'oublierez pas. Prenez le temps d'explorer les boutiques et de faire des folies dans un café au lait, dans un restaurant sur le trottoir. Lieu: 8e arrondissement, place de la Concorde, 75008 Paris. Arrêt de métro: arrêt Concorde, ligne jaune 1, ligne violette 8, ligne verte 12. Champs-Élysées: arrêt de Georges V, ligne jaune 1.
At the end of the Champs-Élysées is the famous Arc de Triomphe. I see this every year on television as it marks the finish line of the Tour de France. As you walk towards the Arc de Triomphe, you can witness the world's largest roundabout from the inside.
Au bout des Champs-Élysées se trouve le célèbre Arc de Triomphe. Je le vois chaque année à la télévision car cela marque la ligne d'arrivée du Tour de France. En marchant vers la RC de Triomphe, vous pouvez assister au plus grand rond-point du monde de l'intérieur.
Pay your respects to the unknown soldier, and marvel in the grandness of this impressive monument. I highly recommend you go up to the top of the arc for another great view of the city.
Rendez hommage aux soldats inconnus, et à la merveille, et à la grandeur de cet impressionnant monument. Je vous recommande fortement de monter au sommet de l'ARC pour une autre vue magnifique sur la ville.
The streets span out from one of the world's largest roundabouts, and you have an incredible view of the Eiffel Tower. If you have the Paris Pass, you get free entry, and you can skip the line. Note, make sure to use one of the underpasses to cross the street. The traffic is crazy. Also, if you are looking for a cool view of the Arc de Triomphe, head to the crosswalk on the northwest side of the Arc on Avenue de la Grande Armée. You can stop in the middle and grab a great shot. Hours, from April 1st to September 30th. 10 a.m.-11 p.m. From October 1st to March 31st. 10 a.m. 10:30 p.m. Cost, €13. Children under 17 are free. Skip the line and free entry with the Paris Pass. Location: 8th Arrondissement Place Charles de Gaulle 75008 Paris Metro Stop. Charles de Gaulle A12 Stop Lines 1, 2 and 6.
Horaire, du 1er avril au 30 septembre, de 10h à 23h. Du 1er octobre au 31 mars, de 10h à 22h30. Coût, €13. Les enfants de moins de 17 ans sont gratuits. Évitez la file d'attente et entrée gratuite avec le Paris Pass. Lieu, 8e arrondissement Place Charles de Gaulle, 75008 Paris. Arrêt de métro, arrêt Charles de Gaulle, étoile ligne 1,2 et 6.
What better way to start your second day in Paris than the Ile de la Cité? This is the historical heart of Paris, and home to Notre Dame and Sainte-Chapelle.
Quelle meilleure façon de commencer votre deuxième journée à Paris que l'île de la Cité? C'est le cœur historique de Paris, et abrite Notre-Dame et Sainte-Chapelle.
Start at the Pont-Neuf Bridge, which is one of the oldest bridges in Paris, and stroll along the Seine until you reach Notre Dame. This is one of my favorite stretches of the river. 7. Sainte-Chapelle. Notre Dame is beautiful on the outside, but it does not really compare to Sainte-Chapelle on the inside. Sainte-Chapelle has one of the best displays of stained glass in the world. It is definitely worth spending a little time here in the morning when the light is beautiful. Like most attractions in Paris, you will want to get here early in order to avoid the lines. We suggest arriving 20 to 30 minutes before opening time if you want to take in the beauty of this church. Skip the line to Sainte-Chapelle here. Hours, April 1st to September 30th. 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. October 1st to March 31st. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Closed January 1st, May 1st, December 25th. Cost, €11.50. Location: 8 Boulevard du Palais, 75001 Paris, France Metro Stop, Line 4. Site.
Commencez par le Pont Neuf, qui est l'un des plus anciens ponts de Paris, et promenez-vous le long de la Seine jusqu'à Notre-Dame. C'est l'un de mes tronçons préférés de la rivière. 7. Sainte-Chapelle. Notre-Dame est belle à l'extérieur, mais elle ne se compare pas vraiment à Sainte-Chapelle à l'intérieur. Sainte-Chapelle possède l'une des meilleures expositions de vitraux au monde. Cela vaut vraiment la peine de passer un peu de temps ici le matin quand la lumière est belle. Comme la plupart des attractions de Paris, vous voudrez vous y rendre tôt afin d'éviter les files d'attente. Nous vous suggérons d'arriver 20 à 30 minutes avant l'heure d'ouverture, si vous voulez profiter de la beauté de cette église. Billet coupe-fil pour Sainte-Chapelle ici. Horaire, du 1er avril au 30 septembre, de 9h à 19h, du 1er octobre au 31 mars, de 9h à 17h, fermé le 1er janvier, le 1er mai, le 25 décembre. Coût, €11.50. Lieu, 8 boulevard du Palais, 75 001 Paris, France. Arrêt de métro, ligne 4, Cité.
Notre Dame may be inaccessible at the moment, but it is still worth taking in the beauty of this building. As you walk through its courtyard, you will also come across a plaque that marks the Point Zero, or the official center of Old Paris. Continue along the Seine to the rear of the cathedral, and cross Pont de l'Archevêché, which will give you the most beautiful view of Notre Dame.
Notre-Dame est peut-être inaccessible en ce moment, mais cela vaut toujours la peine de profiter de la beauté de ce bâtiment. En vous promenant dans sa cour, vous tomberez également sur une plaque qui marque le Point Zéro, ou le centre officiel du Vieux Paris. Continuez le long de la Seine jusqu'à l'arrière de la cathédrale, et traversez le pont de l'Archevêché qui vous donnera la plus belle vue sur Notre-Dame.
As you leave Notre Dame, you can then begin your 30-minute stroll to the Musée d'Orsay, where you are transported into a book lover's As you leave Notre Dame, you can then begin your 30-minute stroll to the Musée d'Orsay, where you are transported into a book lover's paradise. The famous left bank of the Seine is lined with booksellers that have plied their trade since the early 1900s. It is very Paris. Make sure to take notice of Shakespeare and Company. If you are a fan of classic literature, you will remember that this was a famous gathering place for Hemingway, James Joyce, and Ezra Pound back in the early 1900s.
En quittant Notre-Dame, vous pouvez ensuite commencer votre promenade de 30 minutes jusqu'au musée d'Orsay, où vous êtes transporté dans le paradis des amateurs de livres. La célèbre rive gauche de la Seine est bordée de libraires qui font leur métier depuis le début des années 1900. C'est très Paris. Assurez-vous de prendre note de Shakespeare et Company. Si vous êtes un fan de littérature classique, vous vous souviendrez que c'était un lieu de rassemblement célèbre pour Hemingway, James Joyce et Ezra Pound au début des années 1900.
Now, we are self-proclaimed non-museum fans. Usually, we find them a little boring, and not very interesting. Enter the Musée d'Orsay. This is by far one of the best museums I have ever been to. It houses the largest collection of Impressionist art in the world, and is housed in an old train station, so the design is just beautiful.
Maintenant, nous sommes autoproclamés non-musées. Habituellement, nous les trouvons un peu ennuyeux et pas très intéressants. Entrez au musée d'Orsay. C'est de loin l'un des meilleurs musées où je sois jamais allé. Il abrite la plus grande collection d'art impressionniste au monde, et est logé dans une ancienne gare, de sorte que le design est tout simplement magnifique.
Works here. We absolutely loved how this museum was set up, and it may just have made us museum fans. There is an entry fee to get into the museum, but if you have the Paris City Pass, or the Paris Museum Pass, it is included. Tip: the museum is free on the first Sunday of every month, and it is closed on Mondays. Hours: closed on Mondays, open Tuesday to Sunday from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Open to 9:45 p.m. on Thursdays. Cost: museum ticket plus exhibition, €14. Location: 7th arrondissement, 1 Rue de la Légion d'Honneur, 75007 Paris Metro Stop, Solferino, Green Line 12.
Fonctionne ici. Nous avons absolument adoré la façon dont ce musée a été mis en place, et il a peut-être fait de nous des fans de musée. Il y a un droit d'entrée pour entrer au musée, mais si vous avez le Paris City Pass ou le Paris Museum Pass, il est inclus. Astuce, le musée est gratuit le premier dimanche de chaque mois, et il est fermé le lundi. Horaire, fermé le lundi. Ouvert du mardi au dimanche de 9h30 à 18h00. Ouvert jusqu'à 21h45 le jeudi. Coût, billet de musée plus exposition, 14 €. Lieu, 7e arrondissement, une rue de la Légion d'honneur, 75 007 Paris. Arrêt de métro, Solferino, ligne verte 12.
After you leave the Musée d'Orsay, you can make your way towards the catacombs and Montparnasse. For those who love to walk, and maybe are a little peckish, we suggest grabbing a baguette and some cheese, and head to the south lawn of Jardin du Luxembourg for an afternoon picnic.
Après avoir quitté le musée d'Orsay, vous pouvez vous diriger vers les catacombes et Montparnasse. Pour ceux qui aiment marcher et qui sont peut-être un petit creux, nous vous suggérons de prendre une baguette et un peu de fromage, et de vous diriger vers la pelouse sud des Jardins du Luxembourg pour un pique-nique l'après-midi.
The gardens themselves are beautiful. They were created by Queen Marie de Medici in 1612, and span 25 hectares. That is a lot of land. If you prefer to get there faster, we suggest either hop on the metro at Musée d'Orsay and get off at Montparnasse. A metro pass is included in your Paris pass. If you have purchased tickets for the hop on hop off bus that day, you can get off at the Catacombs stop, Summer route, or the Port Royal stop, Winter route. That will get you close to the Catacombs, which is the next stop on today's agenda. Hours, opens 7:30 a.m. and 8:15 a.m., and closes between 4:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. according to the season. Cost. Free location, 6th arrondissement, Rue de Médicis, Rue de Vaugirard 75006, Paris Metro stop, Odeon on the Yellow Line 10, and on the Purple Line 4.
Les jardins eux-mêmes sont magnifiques. Ils ont été créés par la reine Marie de Médicis en 1612 et s'étendent sur 25 hectares. C'est beaucoup de terre. Si vous préférez vous y rendre plus rapidement, nous vous suggérons soit de prendre le métro du musée d'Orsay et de descendre à Montparnasse. Un pass de métro est inclus dans votre Paris Pass. Si vous avez acheté des billets pour le bus Hop on Hop Off ce jour-là, vous pouvez descendre à l'arrêt Catacombes Summer Route ou à l'arrêt Port Royal Winter Route. Cela vous rapprochera des catacombes, qui est la prochaine étape à l'ordre du jour d'aujourd'hui. Horaire, ouvre de 7h30 à 8h15, et ferme entre 16h30 et 21h30 selon la saison. Coût gratuit. Lieu, 6e arrondissement, rue de Médicis, rue de Vaugirard, 75 006 Paris. Arrêt de métro, Odéon sur la ligne jaune 10 et sur la ligne violette 4.
And what's up, YouTube? If you like this video, please press the like button so I know if you watched the whole video. I'll be doing part 2 of this the French country, or French, Paris and other city in France. But please press the like button. I'm trying to get 100 subscribers or more. Have a good day, YouTube.